How's it going, guys? Dylan from If Cars Could Talk, and I hope everyone's doing well today. Now today I'm standing in front of a Dodge Demon, but I have a confession to make. You see, I've never really been an American car guy, but before you crucify me in the comments, it just wasn't my upbringing. I grew up, well, loving exotic Lamborghinis and classy Aston Martins. You see, that is what was on my bedroom wall. And the funny thing is, well, this car doesn't represent any of those things. It certainly isn't classy and it's not exotic. What this Dodge Demon is downright scary. This thing is so powerful, so fast, and so damn scary that, well, I think Dodge's promotional commercial put it best. You see, the only way to properly appreciate this thing is if you were behind the wheel of one. So I'm gonna have you do the next best thing and imagine. I want you to close your eyes and pretend you're behind the wheel of a Dodge Demon. All you see in front of you is a stoplight and a big-ass straightaway. You strap yourself into a 4-point harness and then insert a playful little red key, starting the most powerful production V8 ever. You start spinning the tires at 200 degrees, leaving a giant cloud of smoke behind you. You're ready. Drag mode activated, line lock activated, trans brake activated, torque reserve activated. You put your foot on the brake, put your foot on the accelerator, build the revs, and floor it. Your head is put into the back of the seat at 1.8 G's, most ever might I add, squishing the suspension and forcing the front end up. 0 to 30, 1 second. 0 to 60, 2.3 seconds. 0 to 100, 5.1 seconds. You hit 140 miles an hour, 9.65 seconds through the quarter mile, the fastest production car ever. And might I add, good job, you got the car banned from drag racing according to the NHRA. Alright, so speaking of scary, have you ever heard of a car company naming something with such a mean, evil, and just downright cool name like Demon? That's the one thing the Europeans haven't really figured out right, is the naming thing, like, well, McLaren MP4 12C and, well, the Porsche Panamera S Turbo Hybrid, whatever it's called. They're boring, they're long, and they're just too adult. In fact, what's so cool about this car is they just were children about it. You have a picture of literally a demon with giant horns all over the car. And that's kind of what makes this thing so much fun. There's a playfulness about it. I think it's fair to admit that, well, we want our crazy car to have a crazy name to match. I want to have a proud little grin on my face when people go, "What car do you drive?" I drive a Demon, and it's gonna eat your children. Now I must admit I've gone on and on about this thing's name, and let's not forget its badging. I mean, it has one over here, 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 the interior, here, and even on the hood. And there's another thing you have to admit is, well, let's be honest, American cars and muscle cars alike are, let's say, notorious for hopeful badging. But one thing I have to tell you is the badging is very important on this car. Now it's easy to mistake it maybe for a Dodge Challenger with that, let's be honest, bathtub-shaped bathtub. But it is very American in that sense. It's a thick muscle car. And they made it even thicker when they created the Hellcat with 700 horsepower. But then Dodge went even crazier with the Demon. For 3,000 units, they put 840 horsepower in this car. And the crazy thing about that is, well, those were hypercar numbers not too long ago. Now you're probably questioning, well, aesthetically it's pretty similar. It's the same old giant rectangular Challenger we're all familiar with, and, well, even these little side arches are from a Hellcat. But what is different about the Demon is, well, first of all, this giant hooded vent to feed its giant engine, which we'll get to in a second. And then in addition to that, these smaller wheels, which are actually on 11-inch wide drag radials. Going around the rest of the car, well, we just have obviously that similar lip on the back end, and then obviously as well the badging. Now, moving to the interior, it's pretty similar. It's pretty much a Dodge Challenger or Hellcat interior, except for obviously a little different badging here and there. But one option you can have, and unfortunately I can't show you on here for demonstration purposes because the owner's, well, clearly a very practical person, is there's what I like to call the antisocial package, where you can remove all of the seats except for the driver's seat, I think for up to 215 pounds in weight reduction. And I say it's antisocial, but let's be honest, this isn't such a social car in the first place. It's bright, loud, big, and powerful. So we've spoken about the aesthetics of this car, and well, let's be honest, a lot of it's pretty similar to any Challenger. But where all the parts and differences lie in this car is actually mechanically and under this hood. In fact, Dodge says the only original part in this engine is the cylinder head. Bear with me for a second. Alright, so I kind of have to admit this is a momentous day for me. I've opened the hood on a muscle car. And I have exotic cars all around me. So I'm basically any muscle car owner at a Cars and Coffee. No, I'm just joking, guys. The reason why it's open is obviously because it's just a gnarly engine. It's a 6.2 liter V8, but here's the kicker, it's a supercharged V8, and they've increased the supercharger's literage to 2.7 liters, which basically dwarfs a Golf GTI engine just in the supercharger. Obviously now it produces 840 horsepower because of that. I also like that you can just see an intake on here. It's like you just went to bloody O'Reilly Auto Parts and installed it yourself. It's massive cone here. It's accessible, it's viewable, there's no bull covers all over it. It's proper, it's something you want to show and display at a car event. It's even got the cool stickers to match. And the other crazy thing is, in a very American, logical, to the point way, this air conditioning is not just for air conditioning. It actually is double used to cool the intercoolers. So, I mean, you just have to love it. All right, guys, we are aboard the Demon, and the funniest thing about this already is right when we were switching drivers, there's this dude running past here, and you can't help but feel guilty even before you haven't even done anything yet. It's just the type of car that just looks like you're a troublemaker. I'm gonna be a little child. So it sounds great, obviously. Distinctively, that supercharger whine is hilarious, awesome. And we were just saying what's so great about this car is it's absolutely childish. Every additional sticker that's been put on this car has only made it cooler. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's amazing. Am I behaving myself all right? Oh, this is amazing. All right, I'm gonna be a good boy now. Just, you know, I'm just driving through on a nice stroll. Nothing to see here. Just a giant orange boat with 800 horsepower. Wow, what a cool car. There's that jogger we were talking about earlier. See, he's like, I knew it. I knew it. Get away from him before he reports us to the police. We weren't doing anything. Oh, it is so cool. It actually doesn't feel too chunky and big. I mean, it is chunky and big, but there's a corner. I'm gonna keep just slowing down. Oh, it's very smooth though, man. It's really smooth and very nice, honestly. I thought it would be more terrifying. It's actually grips very well. This would be fun to daily drive. We were actually talking about that, but the gas consumption's horrific. The tires are gone after you're having fun with them. And you probably can't fit it in most places. It's also gonna attract a lot of attention if you take it to meetings, but... Oh my God, I love it. Oh, Jesus. It ran out of revs. Sorry, okay, we'll be good now.
I'm just looking at the lines you left.
Did I leave lines? Oh God, I'm so sorry. What I really like about this thing is it knows what it is. You see, so many car companies are obsessed with what their Nuremberg lap time's gonna be. but every component on this car was simply designed to make this thing go as fast as possible in a straight line. So in a great way, it harkens back to its original muscle car roots of eliminating curves and summing itself by straight lines, loud noises, and terrified faces. All right, so I've told you its story. Now let's walk around the specific 2018 Dodge Challenger Demon for sale at Rancho Santa Fe Autos. Now this thing has only 2,300 miles on it, and obviously it's a special car. They only made 3,000 units of it. And well, it's obviously a very fast car too, with 840 horsepower, and you're reminded of that with the Demon logo all over it. Now, the spec of the thing is pretty bright, obviously in orange, but then again, how could you expect anything else than a car named Demon? Now, walking around it, the cool thing about it is it's obviously kind of, you know, when these things came out, it was a modern day muscle car. We really hadn't seen anything like this. It was a horrible era of early 2000 muscle cars, whether it be the Mustang, and then finally they got it and harkened back to their old design language. Now the cool thing as well about it is you can have a very fast car, but it's also a very comfortable car. There is leather everywhere in it, and it's something that you can kind of relax and cruise in. And as I said, the crazy thing about it is you can put on the AC while you're riding and be comfortable, and then at the same time it'll dual use that AC to cool the intercooler. I mean, how badass is that? Alright, so that is the story of the Dodge Demon. A road car, more comfortable on a drag strip, and let's be honest, it won't exactly have any challengers, pun intended. God, that was corny. But regardless, I have to give Rancho Santa Fe Autos a huge thank you for letting me film this absolute monster. And guys, check their link below if you want to see whatever, well, inventory they have. The cool thing about this dealership is, well, you can walk around and not be bothered, and if you do want to be bothered, they're going to know what they're talking about. Now guys, if you want to see what type of equipment I use, check the Amazon links below. If you want to see me on more things, I'm of course on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a like. And guys, if you want to see me more, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.